Today I'm going to be walking you through lesson 2.2, peanut butter brownies. So before I get started, what I'd like you to do is set up your desktop the way that you see mine here. I have this video tutorial playing in the screen on the left, and I have my drive open to my Mrs. Norris folder in my screen on the right. If you could pause the tutorial and set up your desktop, we'll get started as soon as you are done. All right, before we move on, let's look at our what do I need to know, why do I need to learn it, and how will I know that I've learned it. So we're continuing this same what do I need to learn throughout all of our Google activities. How do I use Google Apps to create, collaborate, and share documents effectively? Why are you learning this? Understanding how to use productivity tools like these Google Apps correctly will make creating, editing, and sharing documents easier and will help me be more marketable in the future. So if you know how to do these things, then you have an advantage when you are doing a job search. How will I know that I've learned it? So today we're going to be learning how to use a bulleted and numbered list to create a recipe. So these are the skills that we're going to be going through today. If you want to pause the video and read them to yourself. This is what we are going to be naming our document today. We're going to have our first and last name in lesson 2.2. And then this is the text that we are going to copy. And through this tutorial, we'll learn how to format the lists, and then we are going to submit our work. So let's start up at the top here. And what we're going to do is we are going to first create a document in our My Docs folder. So I'm going to go ahead and open up my My Docs folder. Please do the same. And then we are going to either right click and add a new Google Doc, or you can go to the new button and create a new Google Doc from there. So now it tells me that we're going to name this with our first and last name in lesson 2.2. So please make sure you use your own first and last name, not the words first and last, but your actual first and last name. And then we are calling this lesson 2.2. And then I'm going to hit return. Please change the name of your Google Doc before we continue on. All right, so the next thing that we're going to do is just copy this text, not by highlighting and copying. You can't do it, it's a picture anyway, but by actually typing. For the assignment where it actually has us hitting return to go to the next line, we're going to actually do that. And do not change the font size or style or color, because we're going to be doing that later throughout the assignment. So I'm going to go ahead and start typing this. Okay, I'm going to hit return to go to the next line, because this isn't a paragraph, this is a list, so it's a little different than what we said in previous assignments. And then if I do the number 1 and then a slash mark and the number 2 and then I hit space, Google Docs will automatically change it to the half icon, and we can go ahead and keep that. Hit the tab button, I can add in the words easy that are suggested to me if they're the correct words. So I'm going to go ahead and pause this tutorial and type the rest of this information. Go ahead and pause the tutorial and do the same. All right, so you can see that I have typed my information just as you have. So we have a list up at the top. You should have hit the return button after every list item here. Okay, and now down here, it might have gotten a little bit tricky, and it's going to be important to know that we have done this correctly. So you should have hit return after the word pan. And then starting from in a medium bold to blended, that is a single sentence. So make sure that you haven't pressed return at the end of these. For example, if you hit return after the word brown, then you're going to want to bring brown sugar back up together. Same for if you hit return after the word salt, you're going to want to bring the semicolon and stir back together. Okay, and then bake for 30 to 35 minutes. This is a single sentence here, and this is a single sentence here. Oh my goodness, this is a single sentence here. Sorry. cool and cut into 16 squares is also a single sentence. Okay, so make sure that you have that fixed, and then we're going to move on because it's going to be important that your numbering for your numbered list won't be correct if you don't have that fixed the way that I just showed you. Okay, so the first thing that we're going to do is we're going to change our line spacing. That's one of the new skills that we need to learn. So I'm going to go ahead and select everything by clicking and dragging my mouse. I can also just click, and then on my keyboard, if I'm in the classroom using the Macs, I can do Command A to select everything. But the point is to have everything selected, so do that now. And then we're going to go to the line spacing menu, which is up here. Okay, it looks like an arrow going up and down on the left-hand side with 3 lines. That's our line spacing. So I'm going to click that. And it's by standard 1.15. We're going to change it to 1.5. Okay. So just to show that again, I've selected everything by clicking somewhere on my document and doing Command A. I can also click and drag my mouse to select everything. And I'm going to go to line spacing, and I'm going to change it to 1.5. Once I've done that, I want to turn my list, of ingredients into a bulleted list. So I'm going to select just my list of ingredients. So starting at half cup all the way down to the word salt. Okay, and then I'm going to go to the bulleted list. So here I have a numbered list. Here I have a bulleted list. I'm not going to select anything special, just the standard bulleted list by clicking on the button. Okay. So to show you again, I'm going to start at the 1.5 cup and bring my cursor down to the salt to select my ingredients. And then I'm going to go to bulleted list up on my menu bar and click the button. Okay. Now I'm going to do the same thing for a numbered list, and this is why it was important to have your lines correct, because we are going to have a certain number of list items. So I'm going to start at preheat, and I'm going to drag my mouse down to the word squares. Okay, so again, starting at preheat and dragging my mouse down to the word squares to select my directions. And then I'm going to go to my numbered list. And again, just sticking with the standard numbered list. You should have 4 directions, okay, 4 steps. If you have more than that, then probably your lines weren't correct and you'll need to fix them. If you had less than that, so let's say, for example, I hit return here, and now I have 5. So what I can do is go in front of the word combine and hit the delete button 2-3 times to take me back up to the correct line. So let me show that again. Let's say, for example, my combined flour is supposed to be up with my number 2. So I'm going to put my mouse in front of the word combine, and I'm going to hit delete 1, 2, 3 times, and it will take me to where I need to be. So make sure you only have 4 steps in your directions before you move on. Okay. Now we're going to select our list of directions again. So those 4 steps in our list of directions. And we're going to go to the line spacing again. And this time what we're going to do is add a space after each list item. And you'll see that now there is a space between the item and the next number. Okay. So to show that to you again, I have my directions highlighted. So I clicked and dragged my mouse to highlight just the directions. And then I went back to my line spacing option on the menu bar. And I'm going to select add a space after the list item. Okay. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to make some adjustments to my text. So the peanut butter brownies, I'm going to highlight the title. And I want to center align that. And we're going to change the size of that text to 18. And we are going to make it bold. So again, we have bold, 18, and center aligned. Okay, bold 18 and center aligned. Just the words peanut butter brownies. Okay. Now I'm going to go to ingredients and I'm going to bold ingredients and I'm going to go to directions and I'm going to bold directions. Okay. Making no other changes to text other than that. So we've aligned our text and now what we're going to do is use word count. So to use the word count, I'm going to put my cursor back here up at the top. Okay. And I'm going to go to tools and I'm going to go to word count. Now, similar to what I did with the activity prior, where I took a screenshot of a window within my document, I'm going to do the same thing and add it to the bottom of my document here. So I'm going to, looking at my keyboard, I'm going to hold down the shift button, the command button, and the number 4. And my screenshot is going to start at the top of what would be my document and move down to the bottom corner over here. So I have my document in the background, and then I have my word count in the front. Okay. All right. I'm going to go ahead and click OK. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to hit the return button 2 times. So again, I went to the end of my document here after the period after the word squares, and I'm going to hit return once. I don't need a number, so I'm going to hit return again. So I hit return 2 times, and now I'm going to go to insert, image, upload from computer, and I'm going to get that screenshot I just took and I'm going to put it in my document. Now you want it to fit onto one page. I'll say it again. You want it to fit onto one page. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to resize my image so that it fits onto one page. If I still have a second page here, I need to resize it again so that it's small enough. I, as the teacher, can see that you knew how to use the word count, and I can see that you knew how to add it and make it so that you have only one page that you are submitting. Okay. So once all of these things are done, we are going to submit this. So what we need to do is submit it as a PDF. So I'm going to go to File, Download, PDF. And this is the document that I'm going to be submitting. On your screen, you'll have a little picture of a rocket ship. If you click on that rocket ship, you can add this PDF document to your submission and submit that to me.